Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Rachel from Sweet Bee Paper Co. And welcome to week 1 of the Summer Fun Ephemera Challenge. So this week we are doing note cards. So each week for the next 16 weeks we are doing a different project each week. Something simple, some ephemera we can make up in advance, like mass make, to have for our junk journals or whatever paper crafting we like. So like I said, this week we are doing note cards. So I'm super excited about these. So these are the two I kind of made as my little testers. I kind of used a little bit too much paint, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. When I use the stencils, I kind of went ham. I love how the bird one turned out. So, like I said last week, you'll need some paints. I'm using a bunch of acrylic paints. You could use a brayer. Like I'm going to today, to put a little bit of paint on your note cards, or you could use a brush or your fingers if you want. So what we're going to do is put a couple colors on our note cards. I also have some distress spray stains and oxide sprays. I want to do a couple with those. I only have a few colors, but we're still going to try it. But basically what we're going to do with these, look at the cat here, is, and you don't even have to use your stencils if you want for them. You could just lay your paint down, and then as you need them for your project or your books, you could add paint to them then, or even stamping to them then. You could just get a bunch of note cards with different colors ready. So let me show you what I did for these. These are super quick and easy to put paint down. There's not a lot to it. It's mostly just making a mess. I didn't really even put down a huge protective surface on my desk. I've just got some magazine pages that I'm going to use for the paint. And take a note card. And so let's start out with our acrylic paint. So all I'm doing is taking a little bit of acrylic paint, getting it on my brayer. You don't need too much paint because we're using, such small pieces of paper. And then just get a little bit of color on there. You can add as much color as you want. You can do them all the same colors. So I kind of like that because it's kind of all over. So let's add maybe some of this gray. That looks really pretty. So these are super thin note cards as well. So I don't want to add a ton of paint either, so we can have them dry faster. But isn't that pretty with the pink and the gray? So you could use these as journaling cards. You could use these as background papers for a collage. You could glue them onto an envelope. There's so many projects you can do for note cards. You could use them as pockets. But I want to get a bunch of these kind of done and painted so that I have a bunch ready to go when I need them. So let me paint one more with, we'll paint one more and then we'll do some spray stains. So this one, why don't we do a metallic? How about this? This is deep green black. So I've been kind of reusing colors, or just kind of folding the magazine pages up. If you have a black that you like to use for paint to do this on, by all means use that if you want. Just get a little bit of color. And so I've still got some paint on here, which is fine. So what did I say I was going to do? I think gold. So I'm just going to kind of put a bunch. Oh, that's probably way too much gold. So I'll probably do a couple with these colors. You can kind of mix them up on your thing. I'm not like a pro at using the brayer and doing these. I've just tried them and really liked how they looked. Isn't that cool? So pretty, so shiny. Okay, so now, and I'm definitely going to use that here in a minute, but I want to do some of these. So I've got salvaged patina and black soot, but I also have this oxide. So I think I'm going to put some of these down too. This is the acrylic ink I got the other day. Hopefully you've been able to see what I've been doing, otherwise that's weird. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of that. This isn't a dropper, so I'm just going to randomly like just drop some of these. That's very intense, isn't it? And then maybe spray some of this black soot on. That was way too much. Let's use a little bit of, actually, we could just kind of move it around. Get it all over my fingers. Oh, that actually looks really cool with the with a paper towel. That's pretty. I do want to see more of that blue. So pretty. That I'm definitely gonna have to be, this will have to take a while to dry. For sure. And that magenta and the salvage patina are making a really pretty purple. So just kind of experiment. I mean, you've got tiny canvases. Tiny canvases. You can do whatever you want on them. Just try to get some, oh my goodness, can you see my fingers? Just try to get a little bit of paint and some color on. And if you kind of know a colors that you want to use, go ahead and use those for a specific project. I'm kind of just doing different colors, kind of whatever I want. So let me go put this down to dry. Okay, so next I've got a couple that are already kind of dry. So we're just going to pick out a stencil. I really like this one, so I kind of want to do this one again, just a lot lighter. So I'm going to use a makeup sponge, like with any other sponging when you're sponging on paint, and I'm just using acrylic paint right now. I get a little bit on there, really dab it off because I don't want this to be super heavy, but we want to be able to see it. But on that first one, I used way too much paint in a couple of spots and it just didn't look right. Probably like right there. But this is basically what we're doing. So as soon as your cards are dry enough, you can start using your stencils. To get some color on there. That's so pretty. So that is pretty much it. So I'm going to make a whole bunch more of these. Try to fix this one. Yeah, I will bring you back when I'm done to show you what they all look like. Okay, I'm back. It's been a couple hours and part of that it was, you know, cleaning because I had a huge mess, of course, and my hands are looking pretty good. You couldn't see my nails. So if you are messy like me, I probably would wear gloves, but I love them. There are some I love more than others, and I will let you know why here in a second. But I think this one is my favorite. It looks so cool. So I did do a lot of stenciling with the acrylic paint. So when I went to the dollar store, because I couldn't find my sponges, the dollar store just had these, you know, the egg makeup sponges. So I was like, well, I'll get one for white and one for black. And the pink one with the black just stamped a lot better than the black one did. It seemed to go through the stencils a lot better. So on some of them I went back over and did with this one with the white. So that kind of made a little bit of a difference. Like this with the black one, I just wasn't really getting good stamping, and I forgot to go back and redo this. So I will do something else with that later, but I've got a ton of these. So I did so many different colors with the paints. These are ones that ended up not being done because I kind of wanted to stamp on some too. So, and I think this mixture was probably my favorite, with like the jade and the black and like this bronze. It's so pretty. So I did a bunch of those, let them dry a little bit, and then went in with the stencils, and they're not all completely dry, so I won't be able to put them in my little container yet. This is probably my least favorite one. Even the colors, and then that stencil just does not do well with the paint. So, and then I went over with the dot one, and I'm like, oh my goodness, just stop. So we'll see. I'm not going to write it off. We can do something with it later. Maybe we can cut it up for something. I love these with the birds on them. So I did those with the birds. I think I did one with the black and the copper. I think this is like green. I love the fern one. This was like one of the first ones I did. Look at this one. This one is so cool. So if you don't have the stencils or the acrylic paint, you know, wait till they completely dry and then go in with your stamps, your rubber stamps, and have fun, or do some background stamping instead. I kind of think I will make more of these and not do the stencils so I can do some stamping on them. But some of these with like the lighter backgrounds with the white, we'll be able to stamp on them fine, or collage on them. I'm really excited to use these in journals and even in the weekly collage challenge videos, especially like if it calls for like a color or a bird, or like I was even using the deer one, which I think looks really cool. I think this one is another one of my favorites as well. At first I really was not digging the bright colors, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks so cool. with the black floral, and then I did some of the dot. So yeah, so just go crazy, just go nuts. This one I did not like, and now I absolutely love this one. These were a little bit involved. They take a little bit of time, especially to dry, and we've got kind of multiple steps to them, but they're really cool. I can't wait to use like these in like I kind of want to do like a fall and Halloween journal. Hello, editing Rachel here. I just wanted to come on real quick and show you the little journaling card I made with one of the painted note cards. I took my dot stamp and went around and did some gold splatters, stamped "oh dear" on it, and then I used some cheesecloth and a whale tail tab I made last year. So this would be like the front of the card. Turned it over. I used some light color wallpaper on the back. That way I can still journal on top of it. And I glued down this cute little, I think it was a wheat stamp that I did and cut out. So it's, the back is a little bit decorated. But yeah, it's super easy since I already had the painting, basically the base done for it. But yeah, so it didn't take me any time at all, and it's super cute. So that is just one idea of a project you could do with your painted note cards. Don't, like I said, don't do the stencils or don't do the stamping. Just have your painted note cards and save it for later when you want to do something to them, or you know exactly what you want, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I kind of just wanted some like kind of ready to go. But yeah, so that is the end of week 1. Awesome. If you make these, let me know. Tag me Instagram. So next week, what you will need for next week is, well, some scrap, maybe strips of paper that are kind of plain. You'll need some sentiment stamps or alphabet stamps, your ink pads, and maybe some scrap paper for next week. Also, if you want to distress anything, I would have those ready to go too. But that is it for week 1. I absolutely love these. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you know when the next video comes up, and that will be next Wednesday. And so I will see you next week. Bye.